Hello again everybody and welcome back to my DROD Journey to Rooted Hulk Let's Play. Last time we got the, we got all of the 13th level done, which I could get done before opening the blue doors in this room and this room. Although, as you can see, there is still a little bit more to go. Whether we will go straight up there after going down these steps remains to be seen. If not, then we'll be on to the 14th level. Oh, yep, 14th level. One of the best examples of modern TAR deployment lies in the 8th level of hold number 35P, commonly known as King Dugan's Dungeon. It is an 8th class masterpiece that shall make TAR technicians proud for generations to come. Indeed, rumour has it that already those jealous of our success and lacking originality of their own have taken to imitation. Right, yes, I think I can guess what this
place looks familiar.
What this level's going to be.
Looks kind of like tar. This gunk is definitely not tar.
So in the I think in King Dugan's 2.0, there is a little a scene where you can see some mud coordinators kind of plotting out the map of King Dugan's Dungeon 8th level, which is a nice touch, I think.
There's a swarm of wraithwings in here. Crafty creatures. Best to handle them carefully.
Oh, is it? Is this the first time we've seen wraithwings in this hold? Interesting. Yeah, it might be, actually. To be fair, wraithwings are one of the more advanced monsters, definitely in terms of movement. They're pretty simple to predict when they're just by themselves, but as soon as you get two, you can maybe manage. But as soon as you get kind of 3 or more, you know, it becomes pretty tricky, to be honest. So I'm going to drag these guys out here and then just use this wall to kill them. Yeah, wraithwing hordes are definitely weird. They are governed by rules, and they're easier to predict than some DROD elements like citizens or stalwarts, but not that much easier. It's pretty arcane, the kind of the movement rules for wraithwing hordes. Fortunately, though, most holds don't really call upon you to show that sort of knowledge, like which is nice because yeah, they're difficult to predict. So it's good that people don't really expect you to be able to predict them, I suppose. So yeah, one thing is when comparing tar to mud is obviously, well, there are a couple of things. First of all, mud is nearly always clearable. An isolated mud blob, without any additional walls about and stuff like that, is always clearable by B throw. If he's on the outside of the blob, that is. Whereas obviously a tar blob, on the other hand, it's oftentimes not clearable, and gel even more so not clearable. On the other hand, mud is much more difficult to clear up efficiently, so it can kind of get out of control pretty easily, especially because if for example a mud mother is in the middle of a blob like this, you have to go all the way You know, you have to go 1, 2, 3 back and forth across all the rows before you can get access to the mother. Whereas if there was a tar, if this was a tar blob, you'd just be able to go straight in and stab it. So, what you make up in cuttability with mud, you lose with efficiency of cutting, and so yeah, it's one of those. I suppose it's just a different type of tar stuff in the end. This is I think this will be a pretty gentle introduction though. I don't really foresee there being any rooms which catch me out, especially considering this level is definitely harder in tar. Because a lot of the rooms in the 8th level kind of focused on not being able to cut tar in certain formations, where obviously if mud is nearly always cuttable, that's not going to be an issue. And you'll see what I mean when we get to some of those rooms if you're not already familiar with them. And this is a prime example, like with the if this was a tar blob, you've only got one entrance point, and that is this square here. Being a mud blob though, you can cut it at any one of these corners, so there's a lot more kind of possibility space and ease of breaking into this blob in the middle and killing the mother. Now what does this say? Clear all mud before killing the mother? Ugh. That doesn't sound so fun. I think let's go from here though. I should actually have stood here, I think. Yeah. This is still going to be this challenge, because it's going to mean that this room is definitely a pain, just because the whole thing which made the tar version difficult is that you had to slog through at least a few spawns first before you're able to kill the mother. In the mud variant here, I don't really think. Well, probably you won't really have to slog through too many spawn cycles for the kind of non-challenge solution, but the challenge solution is kind of like, yeah, slog through, go through loads of cycles and see how you manage. This is a slightly annoying position. Yeah, I can't. Do I have enough time to? Yeah, I do. I can get here, I think, which might mean no. That's still no good. Possibly I've approached this wrong. Maybe I should just, yeah, maybe I should do that. Make a retreat, and then I can start dealing with different sections of mud. Like that. Although I won't be able to actually. This is going to be slightly, yeah. Yeah, this is a bit of a pain. Although if I stand here, no, still no. If I stand there, then yeah, I can use the this mud blob as a barrier, clear out all the mud babies down here, and then that could really help me because I can then do, you know, that. Still not great though. This will work. I can thin out the babies plenty by doing that. While I've been doing that though, this blob has been steadily growing, although it won't be able to grow anymore because of these walls blocking it off. So I do just need to be careful and make sure that I do entirely remove blobs. Obviously I kind of couldn't with that one, just because I didn't have enough time to do so, I don't think. But it's just something to bear in mind with the remainder of these. That one's also going to be a pain, but I suppose if I step out of the arena, then it's fine. Using B-throw to block the spawn, like B-throw's body or B-throw's sword, to block a potential spawn is a very helpful trick as well. It's a pretty kind of pretty basic, but it's very effective, you know. This blob is going to be simple to clear out, although I am going to have to deal with a few babies which are spawned from below. Fortunately, the spacing of the babies there meant it didn't cause me any issues. Yeah, this is though. If I step back into this little bit here, though, I should have enough room to clear them all out like that. And then I can get rid of this blob here, do that, and then I'm not quite safe, not quite there, but now babies are only really approaching from one angle, so it's pretty manageable at this point, and we're nearly there. It's a hard slog, basically. That's what this challenge is asking us to do. It's asking us to slog through a bunch of spawn cycles, and eventually we will be able to kill the mother. I mean, we removed all the tar around the outside now. Sorry, the mud around the outside. So it's just a case of cutting away the mud now on the inside, which this is only a small blob, and growth is relatively restricted, so it's not like, I don't foresee there being any issues with us not being able to cut this efficiently enough, i.e. More mud is being spawned per cycle than I can cut. You can see that that's clearly not happening. I hope I can take out one eye and still first, as in take out one eye before I clear the rest of the mud first, and then still be awarded the challenge. We'll see those. Yeah, stuck in the mud. We got the challenge. Cool. This room is actually not from the 8th level. This is similar to a room from the 16th level, I think it is. Unlike in that level, in that room though, there isn't really the time pressure. If this, in actually all of these chambers, regardless of whether they completely fill up with mud, the player still can just go and stab it here. If this was tar, then again, this would be a corner and it would be unstabbable. So yeah, this is pretty simple. Now it's just some roaches to deal with. And cleared. Okay, that's the exit stairs. Up here is the infamous room in mud form, of
I
course.
hope this doesn't go where I think it goes.
In the 5.0 version of King Dugan's Dungeon, these rooms were unrequired, whereas I'm sure in the original, in 2.0, these rooms were required. I'm not sure if they've maybe done the same. Yeah, I don't know whether this is a secret room in the original Journey to Reach the Hold, or they've just kind of made it into a secret room for for the 5.0 version, but this is much easier, or much quicker, I think, for in mud, just because these two by these two wide passages are obviously clearable, so like so long as I don't get myself trapped like this. That is the issue with mud though. If you manage to get yourself trapped on an inside corner like so, then you're trapped forever. There's no escaping, unlike with gel or tar. But yeah, being able to traverse these two wide passages does make things easier, although I don't actually want to be going up this one because this flat edge is still inaccessible for me. I need to go round this way. What's also nice is that while usually tar is easier and quicker to cut, there are situations where it's not, like in a 3 wide, kind of a 3 wide blob like this, where you don't need to clear it. With mud you can just go around the outside, whereas with tar you do have to stab it in the middle and kill a bunch of babies, and it's much less efficient. So yeah, these rules are, they don't hold in every scenario, but it's just kind of general things to remember when you're tackling tar and mud, and it can come in handy, especially in rooms where I think there are definitely rooms out there which kind of force you to, while using switches, you can force you to think, what's better for this particular scenario, mud or tar? So it's always good to know what you're dealing with and being familiar with the strengths and weaknesses of each tar stuff. And yeah, if you really fancy it, my first hold actually has a gel version of this room. Yeah, you heard that correctly, a gel version of this room. I'm not sure if I recommend you play it, because honestly that hold is not great. It was released around 7 years ago. I think 7 years ago, and even for the time, like, that was not an amazing hold. So This isn't a shameless plug. I'm not recommending that you actually go and play the gel version of this room, but I'm just saying you can if you really want to. Instead, you should play one of my more recent holds. They're very good. Some of them, anyway. And yeah, despite this room, me saying that this room is easier with mud than tar, it's still a bit of a dog and definitely not a quick endeavor. In fact, I need to be going up here and going around this way. There we go. I probably shouldn't have killed that. I'm gonna have to actually clear all of this. One thing you can use, and I did it there, if accidentally, is use the spawn to create corners which you can cut. Obviously, mud can only be cut on outside corners, and ordinarily, if I had just waited, well, I still would have had outside corners to cut, but a bit less efficient. Whereas here, what I'm doing, if I stab this blob, beta obviously moves first, so when I cut here, a mud baby is formed here, and then it all grows. But because the mud baby is there, this stuff can't connect because there's only a one wide kind of connection spot. So which means that I can use it to create a corner. In that particular instant, it didn't really do anything because it wouldn't have mattered even if I hadn't created a baby. But there'll be times when you'll need to do that, and I think definitely in perfection, I think there's some stuff like that. If not perfection, then definitely in one of Larry Merck's far more recent holds, although a lot of the rooms are along the same vein. Tar Stuff Horticultural Facility, it will definitely ask you for stuff like that. So that's just something to bear in mind. You can do a similar thing with tar, but the main technique with tar with babies is making sure that tar doesn't grow in places which you can't reach it, like a 2x2 or too wide passage. With mud, that's not generally an issue because, as we've discussed, mud is generally always clearable and always cuttable, but yeah, just a couple of things to keep in mind when you're. I think when you're first starting out in DROD, what you're doing is building up, gradually, very slowly building up a knowledge of each element, and eventually, if you play enough rooms, all of that knowledge will be tested. Just a few more to clear up now. And there we go. Yeah.
Maybe I don't like this stuff so much after all.
Yeah. Or maybe this room was in the 8th level. I don't know. There was a room similar to this in the 16th level, I'm sure. But maybe it was a bit different. I don't know. If I got any more rooms to go this direction, no. No. Yeah, so there are a couple of rooms missing, I think. So there was a room with the snake, I think, or a couple of snakes in the 8th level, which maybe we will see, but they might either not be possible with mud or just be significantly more difficult, and so the architects decided not to include it. But yeah, pretty much every room which is in the original is here, but in mud form. The tar version of this room wasn't particularly tough, and thankfully neither is the mud version either. The room layout, the level layout is definitely a bit different as well. In the tar version, these rooms were like up here, I think. Oh no, they were this way and then up here, rather than branching off from this room. This room was just by itself. It just went straight. There was no passageway up this way. So it is a bit different. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this room was much closer to the entrance in the tar level, so yeah. Maybe we will see that snake room then. We also, when we're dealing with mud, what's nice is that there are generally less babies to deal with, and that kind of is a product of the cuttability. You know, if you're less likely to produce an unstable blob because you're just cutting it from the corner. So whereas with tar, if you cut it, you can cut it kind of anywhere along this edge, and so obviously that's giving you at least 2 extra babies, because you can cut it there and that gives unstable tar there, creates a baby, and also the same on this side, creates a baby, but only once you've kind of cleared the whole row do you get an unstable kind of mud section like that, which would spawn a baby. Okay. What's next? This room. Okay. This room should be very simple with... maybe not quite as simple as I thought, just because you can't... You do still have to... Yeah, if you could just go in and stab this straight away, then it would definitely be more simple, but unfortunately you can't do that. This is one of those fundamental differences. But fortunately we have some additional sort of things at our disposal, and that is trapdoors. Trapdoors are much more helpful on, I think anyway, probably much more helpful on mud than on tar, just because when the mud is growing, like for example I put this trapdoor there, and that was just so that it could create a corner which I could cut from. So that's a very useful tool, particularly because obviously mud can get out of control quite easily, depending on how awkward the cutting is. It can very quickly get to a point where mud. Careful, yeah. Okay, that was in the original challenge. Clear the room before turn 30. Yeah, I was just saying, mud can very easily get to a stage whereby it's expanding at a rate quicker than B-throw can cut it. So yeah, you do have to be careful, but clear the room before turn 30. Can I come from? There is a room to the east, to the west here. So maybe I can come from here, because that is already wasting like half my time getting to this mimic from the east side. So let's see if I can come at it from the south. Yeah, I can. This room definitely wasn't in the 8th level. This is definitely... I don't think even the 16th level. This was maybe the 19th level? Maybe? What's the challenge? Clear all the mud before killing the mother. Wow. That is brutal. You can easily... this is a... By the way, this is not a nice room to do in tar. But you could easily just go in and kill this mother pretty much straight away and be done with it.
How ironic.
But yeah, this is a pretty rude challenge, to be honest. I wanna, yeah. What I want is to be able to get in here before the first spawn cycle. So I'm gonna face, before the second spawn cycle rather. I obviously can't do it before the first spawn cycle. I can do this though, and definitely get in there with plenty of time. And stand there. This still is not a particularly good position to be in. Maybe I want to actually be standing here on the other side. Maybe not. Maybe I want to start... Maybe I want to clear this out first. Maybe actually I want to drop some of the trapdoors. Like, I can drop these trapdoors and be absolutely fine because of it. I can still escape from here. So it's not a big deal if those trapdoors are... if those trapdoors are dropped. Yeah, and now I'm in this position, I think this is much more... much nicer in terms of... I don't have to deal with them all from lots of different angles, although I do still have to deal with them from some angles. You know, I can just do something like this. And then what I wanted to do was get in... See if I could get into here. That's not quite going to happen this spawn cycle, but next one it should do because I'm already over here in a nice position. Yeah, like so. So yeah, I can clear this blob now. I can try and clear this blob anyway. I can clear this one anyway. Like so. Not quite. There we go. And yeah, we're still using, just trying to employ kind of every trick we have, such as using spawn to, where possible, to block growth. But again, we're not, you know, this blob now, because we don't have roaches attacking us from all angles, we've just got them coming from the south. We're fine. You know, this is not too bad to deal with. And once we get this one clear as well, we can, we don't have to worry about roaches coming from the north when we're doing this section. So again, rooms like this is just making sure that you have a foothold and identifying where you can make progress and how is it going to help you later on in the room. And that's the same not just in you know, tar stuff cutting rooms, but also in like horde rooms and stuff. Now my technique is nowhere near the most efficient here, but it's efficient enough that I'm making considerable progress each spawn cycle. And you can just see here the way I'm positioned. I'm using these babies again to block any progress that the mud can make. This one is going to be slightly more tricky, or a bit more of a headache anyway, just because I have got quite a few mud babies to deal with from both the east and the north, but you know, nothing we can't handle. And fortunately, you know, we've dealt with them quick enough that the mud hasn't grown much longer, or much more, sorry. And now we're in a position where this eastern wall is blocking off nearly all the babies from attacking us. This one is still going to be able to get in, which is slightly annoying, but you know, it's fine really. We've also now dealt with all of the mud babies on this side, so we've just got that one stray one to deal with now, in total. And there we go. Obviously not quite cleared, but nearly everything is done. We can now get in here and start clearing this blob out.
How ironic.
Obviously, we are going to have to avoid the mud mother in order to get this challenge, but I think actually was this just clear all of the mud. I hope it wasn't clear. I hope it wasn't just clear all the mud, because if so, I've done this a very difficult way. Oh yeah, clear all mud before clearing mud mother. Okay. Before turn 30 then, I believe I want to be doing something. Yeah, I'm nearly there. I think my sword orientation is just off. Ugh, I can't actually go south. If I was facing possibly southwest, then this would that would have worked, I think. Something like this. one turn off. There we go.
I don't like this mud as much as I thought.
There we go. Yeah, and this room was, I want to say like 20, oh maybe this was the 19th level as well. Clear all mud before turn 900. Okay. How am I going to get this done quickly then? I don't know if there's a strategy to this, or is it if it's just kind of, you know, do it kind of in a, you know, structure where I'm going like one row at a time, maybe? I'm not sure. That's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try one row at a time, and then I can always come back and get the the trapdoors later. I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible. I don't know also, the thing is with a challenge like this is you don't know kind of how lenient 900 turns is. 900 turns might be ages, but I just don't know. I suppose maybe I want to be avoiding as many of these 2 by or 2 wide passages as possible, but to be honest, there are so many of them in this room. I don't really think like there's an easy way to clear the room without having to deal with those. Yeah, so I'm just kind of doing it so that I'm trying to kill or stab a mud blob every other turn as best I can. Obviously, in a situation like that where a baby is formed, I can't do that, but you know, I'm trying my best. I think maybe though I needed to clear these little stops when I could, so I'm gonna go back and do that just like that, just because like otherwise this like it just makes clearing this row much more awkward. You'll notice I am going a little bit slower, just making sure that I'm not bumping anything or missing stuff, making a bad move. But I think I've got it sussed out. I just need to kind of make sure that I'm doing this in a sensible order, like making sure that I'm clearing out these when I'm next to them, kind of when I'm there, so that when I come back in this side to go back across, there's not going to be any issues. Fortunately, because of the layout, this room doesn't require you to do anything like really fancy. This is just kind of making sure that you're thinking about what you're doing rather than like employing an arcane technique or something that you might have learnt from Perfection or something like that. So, you know, this room, this may be difficult, and yeah, I'm on turn 431, so I'm halfway there pretty much, and I don't know, I feel like I've cleared about half the torso. So maybe maybe I'm doing all right. I'm not sure. Like I say, it's you don't really know how lenient some of these challenges are. Looks like I wanted to deal with this section while I could. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't leave any bits like that where if I come in from this side it's not going to be clearable. That feels like what the challenge is asking me to do. Just be intelligent. Don't just run around randomly killing mud in a way that will mean that you have to go back and forth around the room multiple times. I hope I hope I'm having the right approach anyway, because it'd be a bit annoying if if I get to the end here and I'm not quite within the 900 turn limit. That being said, there's not a whole lot of mud left, and I've still got 250 turns to go, so there's definitely less than 250 squares of mud anyway. And just stuff like trying to stab the mud in the direction that you're already facing, I think. Okay, this is going to be close, I think. I've got just over 100 turns. Yeah, I've got 100 turns left now. Can I clear this? Mud in time. This is actually it's actually pretty close. I think I might just do it. But I want to go from actually the top. I want to start up here and come down just because of where that final blob that I've left is. Come on. Huh. I
can't believe you cleared all that mud, and you did it so quickly. I've got to report this to authority.
I was about 2 turns left, but just managed to do it. Yeah, so yeah, that was pretty lenient. I reckon you would have been able to clear all that mud in probably 600 turns, maybe 700 if you're properly optimizing. But I got that done. Managed to do it first try, so That's the main thing. I mean, you saw really I was being quite inefficient in terms of I was killing all the mud babies when I saw them and stuff with true efficiency. For something like that, just clearing a set of mud, you're trying to ignore as many mud babies as possible, and then sort of clear all the mud, ignore all the mud babies, and then come back afterwards and clear them up when you can. But there you go.
Like I said, mud is better than tar.
Ropes and muddies are all the same. Tar has been and always will be the superior substance.
Comrade Tar Technician, I respectfully disagree.
Your work skills are lacking. It seems like someone even had the map upside down when they built this place.
Why do you keep bringing that up?
I like how they have like the same color hair as their respective tar stuff. Is there a gel there's a tar technician and mud coordinator? Is there a gel dude? I don't know actually. At least there's not one that I remember. No, they're not going to say to me. They're not going to ask me. So what do you prefer? Oh, I accidentally went onto the 15th level. Oh well. I'll read out the description and then call it a day there, and we can get and finish off the 15th level next time. I've just realised this is the decoy level. Hey you, Mimic, wake up, Mimic. Aborted last words of Slana the Unwise, cleaning out an infested claw thread hold. Yes, that is not a Mimic. That is not a Mimic. Yeah, there it is. That's our boy, the decoy potion. And we'll yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead. Let's go back to this, restore back to this room. Let's make it seem like we've only just started this level. Cool. Alright, that was Journey to Rooted Hold and the 14th level. The introduction to mud. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time for decoy stuff.